Good morning, class. So, yesterday we talked about how you could have characters, setting, um, a problem, a solution, a beginning, middle, and end, all the different parts of a story. Just the main components. But something that we have yet to talk about is called a theme. So, who can tell me what a main concept of the Three Little Pigs is?
That the pigs are trying to get away from the wolf.
Okay, but so can you condense that into one word?
Fear.
Fear. The pigs are afraid of the big bad wolf.
Yes.
So, what is the author trying to get us to understand? What's the overall message that the author is trying to get us to understand?
Their houses.
Okay. What about their houses?
Well, because one is made of brick and one is made of straw, and one is made of
Wood.
yeah. I was trying to remember.
And what else does the author tell us about those houses? Are they sturdy? Are they...
Well, the brick is sturdy. The stick house is next, and then the straw house is the least of those three.
I would agree with that. So why would the author choose to have the first pig build his house out of straw?
Well, because if you huff and you puff, you can blow the house down.
But what is the author, so beyond the story, what is the author trying to tell us?
That you need to have your house built out of sturdy stuff.
Okay, so straw is too light. Then the next little pig, he sees that the house has been blown away.
So he's trying to learn something from the other pig.
Okay. Yes. So then what does the third little pig do?
Builds a house out of brick, but maybe he works with his other pigs.
Because all three of them are in the brick house when
Right.
the wolf comes,
Yes.
right? So if we take the idea of that story and take the little pigs out and just talk about that we're starting at one place and then they're learning a lesson,
Yes.
they're solving their problems.
Yes.
So could that be a central message of the Three Little Pigs?
Yes.
And
Problem
they work
solving and
They work together to solve their
teamwork.
problem.
So
Yeah.
now that we take that idea, now with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where Aslan is the leader and he's trying to keep a cohesive society, right? Because he wants everybody to get along.
Yes.
But the Wicked Witch, is trying to mess that up.
She's like the wolf.
She's like the wolf.
Yes.
So then who is Aslan like then?
Like the third little pig.
Because he's learning from people's mistakes and seeing how to help everybody work together.
Yes.
So what is a central idea of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Working together to solve problems.
Okay, that is one idea that we see throughout the entire book. But if we just take the character Aslan, so he plays the role of the protector
Yes.
of the entire of all of Narnia. So what does he have to do in order to protect everybody? Like if you want to go with your best friend to the movies, but your mom says that you have to clean your room first and empty the dishwasher and any other chores you have before you can go, right? So you have to do your chores first. But you really want to watch TV. Are you going to do all your chores so that you can go spend time with your friend, or are you just gonna watch TV?
You do your chores.
So you're gonna sacrifice your TV watching time to go
I would.
and so that you can do your chores and then go play with your friends.
Yes.
So I
So
want everybody to be pleased with me.
so is Aslan?
Me too.
Does he represent this leader who's sacrificing himself
Mhm.
because he's trying to maintain the society that Narnia was before the wicked witch came?
Yes.
So what, out of all those words we just talked about, what is one word that could represent the central idea of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Sacrifice?
Sacrifice is what I'm thinking.
Sacrifice. Who can tell me what sacrifice means?
Put others before yourself.
So do we see a lot of that throughout the book?
Yes.
Do you think that that is something that the author wants us to get from the book?
Yes.
So that is what a theme is. So a theme is a central idea that that you should be able to see throughout the entire story. It's different from a moral, because a moral is something that you only see at the end of the story.
It's
A
true.
theme is something that you should be able to see throughout the story. So when we read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, we saw that Aslan was constantly sacrificing himself or things he wanted to do for the greater good. And that the
Yes.
other characters were also sacrificing themselves to help for the greater good.
Yes.
So that can be one theme that the author wants us to see from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So who can tell me, let's do 3 things that you learned, 2 that you have questions about, and then 1 thing that you just want me to know about how you felt today. We'll start with Ellen first, and then we'll go to Lynn. So what is something that you learned today?
Well, sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself to make other things better.
So why don't you talk with your elbow partner for about 5 minutes, and then you 2 can come up with 3 things that the both of you learned today. So just 3 total. 2 things that you have questions about, and then 1 other thing that you just want me to know about how you felt about the lesson today. But that will be our exit ticket today, is our 3, 2, 1. Talks amongst yourself.
So, I didn't understand what the theme was before today. So now you
Yes, me also.
Yeah.
So, yes, I learned what a theme was, but I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to know. I might have waited too long, I have to say.
I think it
So-
also kind of made me learn that Aslan really was kind of this character that was throughout the whole book, and so I mean he was
So
sort of
he
more in the
Pretty
background.
much sacrificed himself to protect
did.
others.
He did, and
All right, about 1 more minute, and then we'll share.
Pressure.
things do I still have a question about? So I still don't understand completely how he defeated the White Witch.
No, and I haven't seen it for a long time, so that's part of my problem. Okay, so, I think we're good, so.
I think so.
Alrighty, so, Ellen, can you tell me, well, 1 thing that you learned today,
Well,
or that you and Lynn talked about?
yes, so 1 would be that sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself in order to protect others.
And Lynn, how about something that, well, because that's a good life lesson, but in terms of understanding based on today's learning target, what a theme is.
I didn't really understand what a theme was before. I guess I didn't really think about it when I
Me
was
neither.
reading the book, and that there really is kind of a theme throughout the whole book. And so, yes, to kind of learn sacrifice. Yeah, when you say it, I was like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally
me too.
it. Mm-hmm.
So would you say that you accomplished today's learning target of being able to identify and define a theme?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can you think of one more theme that might come from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or from the Three Little Pigs?
Well,
For the Three Little Pigs really working together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys, the teamwork. You
Teamwork.
think about those three little pigs, you know, by the third house, they kind of figured out what wasn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then they worked together to figure out what was going to keep them at bay.
and protecting each other.
Protecting each other. Protection again.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any questions?
I still don't know exactly how
You
Aslan, you know,
defeated
that
the
witch.
White Witch, yes.
Mhm.
Do you have any
No.
other questions?
I probably need to watch it again. I liked it, and I liked that the one person was protecting all the others,
Mhm.
and it was a good movie, or book.
Mhm.
But it's how you protect who you love.
Mm-hmm. How about themes and characters and why authors decide on themes? Do you have any questions about overall what a theme
I
is?
kind of wonder how they decide they're going to choose a theme to write a book around.
Well, a lot of stories. So you have. Remember, we talked about our story map. How you start with your introduction, and then we get the rising action, and your highest point is your climax,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the most action-packed thing happens. So normally, like, the problem is getting to the worst possible point, and then you have your falling action, which is where they're figuring out how they're going to solve the problem, and then conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this curve here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're gonna drive up a really steep hill, and we're almost there. We made it to the top, and now we're back down.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, we have to remember that an author of a book or a story is constantly most of the time they figure out who their characters are going to be. They figure out what main problem they want to have, and from there, whether it's an action-packed book or a book more about friendship or something of that idea, they're then able to figure out what theme they want to carry through the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's any authors that have written an entire book and not thought about the theme at all until they're done writing it. I don't
That
think
seems
so.
kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I would think they would need to figure out the characters.
And kind of what the theme
So
is.
you kind of-
and
A progression, and you go up
Uh-huh.
to where there's the high
Mhm.
part of the book, and then you go on down to
Yep.
the ending, and
Yep.
who the characters become.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else you'd like to tell me about the lesson today?
I think I want to read that book again. I really like that book.
No,
Maybe there's some others you can suggest.
All right.
Me too.